All right. Hello, everybody, and back again to We Are Spirits. This is going to be video number four, and today I have one of my best friends um, and one of my greatest teachers so far in life. Um, his name is T. What's up, brother?
How y'all doing? What's up, man?
We're here. Um, so I know that we've been talking about the experiences that I have had with the supernatural and my whole derailment in life, I guess, you know, after losing everything and trying to figure out how to come back to what this reality has to offer. Um, One thing that I want to point out right away is the fact that this guy, um, this light being, I guess, or, you know, angel on earth,
Yeah.
um, was one of the only people that was there when things were really hard and when things were really bad. Um, Opened the doors for me, fed me, and looked after me. Um, Whether it was directly or indirectly, I want to say thank you, but I don't want to use this time to talk about me. Um, I want to use this time to talk about you and the experiences that you have had. And hopefully, if you don't mind, you can go ahead and share with us um, what or some of the things that you have experienced and deal um, with the supernatural. I'm gonna go ahead and move the camera just a little bit more towards you more.
Well,
Go ahead and
man,
introduce yourself. So,
again, I'm Tapiwa. This is my brother right here. He gives me too much credit for being an angel on earth. But, there's reasons why people meet all the time. And we get to a stage where in your life, your roads have to cross with somebody that has to help you or the other way around. And sometimes you don't even know it, you're helping each other. um, I, I don't even know where to start, but I went through losses too, through a divorce. Um, I lost my dad, and it was quite an interesting coincidence that right at the time when JC and I started having that deep talk when he needed me, right away, coincidentally, I needed him. My dad died. And the day that that happened, we were sitting together and we were talking. And he was going to leave the house, but I don't know, we just kept talking about random stuff until I got the message, and that was why he stayed. Because I didn't know how to handle that. I've never suffered a loss that close to me. And going back to talking about experiences with the supernatural, I feel like sometimes we have these spirits around us that we don't realize and notice because we're not grounded enough to pay attention and we don't take life slow enough to see what's going on around us. We get into so many issues, negative issues, and we don't realize why that's happening. And until you get to that point where you're grounded and you're in touch with your feelings, or someone else lifts you to that point where you're in touch with your feelings, you don't get to realize what is going on, the negative energies that are around you, or the positive energies that we let go. So maybe to outline my experience, I'll have to sit down and start from day one, from when I first lived in Zimbabwe and came here to first live in America. So maybe that could be a different topic for a different day.
yeah, definitely.
But in short,
Can you tell us about how was it that you experienced the passing of your father and how that affects you, knowing what you know.
You know, I was numb to it. I really didn't know how to feel when I received the message. Um, I didn't cry much. It didn't hit me. Um, in a way, I feel like he had prepared me for this long time ago through experiences that we had together. But I didn't get to bury my father. By the time I got to Zimbabwe, he was already buried. All I got to see was his grave. And even then, it was.
But have you had any visions, any appearances? Have you had
So
anything that?
when I got home, I had a dream. And in the dream, it appeared to be my dad. But in my culture and growing up, you were always told that if your father comes to you, like if somebody who's just died comes to you in a dream, you have to be very aware sometimes it is not them. And they come asking you certain things that you know your dad would never say or do. And that's what happened to me. I was super uncomfortable. I felt the first night, I felt like I had a pillow over my face. I couldn't breathe. And then the second night, the dream that I had was like my dad calling me and asking me to open a door, and I didn't understand what that meant.
Did you open it?
Nope, I didn't. I woke up, and then the third day it happened again. I I started telling whatever entity this was like to leave me alone,
Yeah.
and I repeated it. I think more than 6 times, and after that, I didn't have that experience again. And then when I got back here, I'll wake up to a knock, somebody knocking on a door. As a matter of fact, it happened to me today.
Hmm.
I hear a knock, like somebody's knocking on a door,
Right.
and then I wake up. I'm like, "Who's it?"
And there's not
And
nobody.
there's nobody.
Huh.
And it's been happening over and over. Today, that's how I woke up. No alarm. It was that door.
Hmm.
And then I realized, wait, I have a glass sliding door. It would not sound like a wooden door. You know a knock of a wooden door.
Mm-hmm.
And unless it's my neighbors, they wouldn't have been able to enter through the side where there's a wooden door.
Mm-hmm.
And I get up, I go check the door, I check everything, and there's nobody.
Hmm.
And that's not the first time. And I'm still trying to figure that part out. But I have a feeling there's something else going on in there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, have you noticed sometimes how much life itself has changed? Not just for those around us and not necessarily just for ourselves, but worldly. Like, we are coming to a place in this world where I feel like a lot of people don't realize that there's been doors that have been already opened, not necessarily by us, but by certain agencies and individuals that are controlling certain parts of our reality. But we are the one experiencing the symptoms, and I feel like, especially when we have someone close to us that passes, and we grieve, um, we get to the point where our emotions are so low that we allow other entities to pass through. Maybe that's the reason why you've been dealing with some of the things that you've been dealing with, just because you still have a stage of grief where you're. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is just a speculation, but what if your everyday energy is always mid level, not necessarily at a high level, but your personal energy, is somewhat at the lower level. Maybe by me saying this, it's just like when you go to sleep, you allow those doors to be just completely open, you
You know,
know,
you
and
know,
you
you
have just entities just pretty much just mess with you.
you made me think about something. You're right. So as much as a human being has the physical health, we also have spiritual health,
Yeah.
and you're very right. Just like your body has its defense system,
Yep.
and if you get sick,
Yep.
it's at its lowest,
Yep.
and at that point, your immune system is not as strong to fight anything that is thrown at you. And now, if you're exposed to multiple sicknesses at
Mm-hmm.
that same time, you're bound to get sick because your
Mm-hmm.
immune system is not strong enough.
Right.
Same thing with the spirit, I guess, from what you're saying, and I think that's what makes sense. That you at a low time in your life, the lowest time, then it seems like that's when everything mounts up on you
Mm-hmm.
because, like you said, your spirit is not at its highest defense.
Mm-hmm.
The doors are open and everything is coming at you.
Right.
You're very right about that. Now the question is, how do we deal with that?
Well, I feel like first of all is understanding and acknowledging the fact that we know that this is something that is part of us and something that we deal with on the regular basis, whether we can perceive it or we can sense it or not. Um, I feel like minding our own energy and our surroundings, the way that we think and the way that we allow, information to pass through us, is the best way possible. Um, I am not the best, necessarily just following my own advices because, um, first of all, um, I'm an Aries, and second of all, I'm very empathological. So it's hard for me to just let go and not get so in touch with my emotions. But at the same time, you don't have to be like me. As a matter of fact, you're not like me. So who's to say that there isn't a better way for you to to deal with this or to work with this better than I do? Just because I can speculate and articulate doesn't mean that I can practice the best. And I feel like one of the reasons why this channel has been created and we're speaking about the things that we're speaking of is because it's not necessarily about us, but it's about you, the one who's watching, the one who is also trying to find help and trying to figure out what is happening in your life. Listen, we all have ups and downs and struggles, but it's up to us to just open up and figure out how to help ourselves. Um, I decided that enough was enough, and there was a life that was given to me, and that I had to explore, and bring up to a surface where it can help others the way that it has helped me. Um, because I don't believe that we have all this. Um, what's the best word to put this? Like, not struggles, but like
Challenges.
challenges in life just because. I mean, what if you didn't make what if you didn't make it through the first challenge, I guess. So the rest of the challenges that were supposed to be yours would have been just for no reason. No, I don't believe in that. I believe that there is a bigger purpose and a bigger reason to why we go through all these things. So, with all that being said, brother, I want to thank you for taking the time to give us a little bit of your time and your experiences. I hope that you would like to do this again, and I'll go ahead and leave the floor to you so you can let people know a little bit more about you and things that you are doing, and when will we see you again?
Well, thanks, man. Well, let's make some time, and
Definitely.
then we can go in depth of maybe dissecting every little thing that we're talking about and putting it into perspective, and working from one end to another, showing our journeys from the beginning
Yeah, definitely.
and what we dealt with and how we're trying to deal with it. I mean, there's no solution for us, like, real quick, like, hey, this is what I want. We've been discovering as we go
Right.
and learning as we go. And some things you start going, oh, okay, now this is why that happened. And then you link it to the one thing that happened before, and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Hmm.
I'm sure all of us have gone through that where you get to a point you're like, wait, about 3 years ago, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. I always say it. About 4 years ago, 5,
Hmm.
me and this guy here were on a boat and didn't know each other.
Well, it's been more than 5 years,
It's been more. Yeah, you're right. It's been
bro.
more
It's
than
been
5 years.
it's been more than 5 years.
Hey, wait, whoa.
It's been more than 5 years.
Yeah, almost 10.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how far. It seems like it's so close.
Yeah.
Time has moved.
Time flies.
And he was there with his wife, and we never talked like that. Like, we just communicated. And then I bump into this guy again. I'm like, wait a minute. Hey, I remember. Remember we were on the boat, we did this and this and this, and I saw you. I heard your conversations. And I was like, wow, I feel like we've been on this boat
Many times before.
many times before. I just keep bumping into you. We keep talking. And we went silent for a while. 2 years later, we meet again at a common friend's house.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know that we knew the same person.
Funny
Yeah.
how the world works.
And look at it. Right at the end, we're still saying hi. We see each other. You know, it's life. The things that always make sense, and whether negative, positive, everything that happens for a reason, and it's a step to go further. And either to teach you a lesson about something,
Hmm.
or to give you a heads up about something that's coming,
Hmm.
or to test your strength.
Yep.
So, the most important thing, like you said, is to be aware
Hmm.
of what's going on around you versus just being oblivious and living and thinking, oh, this spiritual stuff is not existent, or
Hmm.
it is.
Hmm.
And it happens in your life every second.
Hmm.
As you speak, you don't know what entity is sitting next to you or is passing through you. So let's keep our heads up high and let's keep talking about this. Hey, hit us back and let us know what you think. You know, there are people who might not believe what we say or think what we're saying is stupid. That's all right. Please don't shut us down or shoot at us. You know, just keep your thoughts to yourself. But if you are liking this, please reach out. And if you have a positive feedback, even if it's negative, but don't attack us.
No,
Let us know what you think.
I'm with the no attacking, but by all means speak your mind, because this is the thing that I personally want you to understand is this: whether you believe it or not, whether you want to understand it or not, whether you want to make sense of it or not, I'm sure that you have had a moment in your life where you had an experience where you ask yourself, how could this happen? Or how is this possible? Knowing what you're knowing, ask yourself, go to your mirror in your bathroom and ask yourself, am I crazy or not? Or do I believe that there is more to this life or not? Because if you don't believe that there is more to this life, then that's totally fine. But just know that we all have an expiration date, and this time in this life has to come to an end. So just be prepared.
And hey, watch
Talk
out
to you
when
later,
you look
guys.
out it. Watch out when you look in that mirror.
Love you, everybody.